Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Live Now, where Filippo and I discuss cars that are currently live on Cars and Bids. And briefly, before we go on to this week's cars, I crushed you last week. Not a surprise, you chose some insane stuff. But this week, we're focused on one of my favorite topics in all of cars. Depreciation. Ooh. Depreciation is the car enthusiast's friend because it means stuff that was once very expensive naturally comes down in price to a point when you can afford it. The maintenance, maybe not so much, but the actual cost of the car.
I live in the right section where it's depreciated heavily, but still reliable.
It's the best.
My wagon in 2014 had like an $80,000 or $90,000 MSRP.
Yeah.
Somehow. It had every option checked.
Right.
And I bought it for $27,000. Of course,
fun
and now
fact,
it's worth $12,000.
Of course, fun fact, you and I spent the exact same amount of money on maintenance last year. We'll move on. But
Lies.
No,
Slander.
it was the same.
Slander.
It was the same. Think about it. It was the same. You did your brake lines. It was the whole thing.
Slander.
You know, that gets glossed over, but it's true. We're gonna, so
it's just factually not true.
It is. But this week, I'm just really excited. I love this topic because this is the world I live in. I like the idea of depreciated cars, and it just makes them more attainable. We're going to start out with something with my cars. We're going to start out with one that I just love. This 1978 Rolls-Royce Corniche 1 convertible. These cars were the kind of epitome of Rolls-Royces at the time. The Phantom did exist at the time, but only for like dignitaries and heads of state. But if you wanted to just cruise around with your friends in the south of France, in Montpellier, you would choose a Rolls-Royce Corniche 1. And it, 6.75 liter V8.
Classic.
Adequate horsepower, as Rolls-Royce would say. And it's just everything you want a Rolls-Royce to be. Big chrome-nosed, luxurious leather just everywhere. Every surface is covered in leather. Everything that looks like metal it's perfect. These cars were ludicrously expensive in their time.
Oh, I mean, there is the original receipt for when it was bought. Incredibly.
That is
And it was
amazing.
just over
$110,000 in 1978.
Which is $542,000 today.
Which I think makes the Phantom actually a bargain.
Yeah.
If you think about it. Or the Wraith, I guess. Crazy. Or the Dawn, rather. But it's just like...
Well, you can buy it for a lot less than that.
Actually, any of those kind of seem like a bargain comparatively.
I do wonder about this, right? Like, don't you think that this peaked at its depreciation in like 2000?
These cars,
and then it's like ticked back up. It's desirable now.
The depreciation curve with desirable classics, so they go down, they kind of either hit a floor and maybe slightly go up, or they kind of just stay around there. And I think these, like in very good condition, which this one appears to be, it just had a humongous service performed to it. And the Corniches generally are actually pretty desirable cars. I think that there's a certain floor for this, and it does seem like it has appreciated slightly. And a good one will, like this one appears to be, will bring more, obviously, than the ones that are clapped.
This is desirable. It is still, nonetheless, a small portion of its original inflation-adjusted MSRP.
Definitely. And you get the vintage Rolls-Royce experience. Yep. Because 1978, I hate to say it, it makes it a vintage car. Like, it feels
100%.
very much like a different era. And I just, look how comfortable those seats look. And also, you have to say, for 1978, they look pretty great still. So I'm quite pleased with that. The wood looks nice. Just imagine, Filippo.
Delightful.
Just me with I think I don't smoke, nor do I agree with smoking in cars, but a cigar and that thing just seems
it's open top. You're not really smoking.
No, exactly.
Think about it.
You're not smoking. The car might, but you're not.
All right,
so that's my first
classically great choice.
Now you chose a luxury car.
Oh, I chose many luxury cars.
Luxury is a great thing for this because luxury cars just depreciate because
sports cars do.
But luxury cars really do because the people who buy them, they want the newest one every year.
Yeah.
And if you operate in that upper echelon, and that's why they depreciate so quickly. And technology and those sort of things.
You're trying to lead me to the 2006 Bentley Continental Flying Spur, aren't you? Because it is that.
Well, it's the poster child.
It is the poster child for that. I mean, here's a car that has a twin-turbo W12, 6-liter twin-turbo W12. It has every luxury thing imaginable in 2006. Namely, a lot of wood, a lot of leather, a bad infotainment system.
But those screens.
And heated massaging front seats, which now every car has, but and a Breitling dashboard clock. So, it really had it all. And it had 552 horsepower and more torque than you know what to do with.
It's true.
It is now cheaper than a Honda Accord, probably.
Oh, definitely.
I actually don't know how much a Honda Accord costs, nor do I really pay attention to the Continental market.
Let me tell you, it doesn't matter. It's true. It is absolutely true.
It is surely true, right?
And it
must be.
These cars all very much depend on their maintenance and things like that. But they are When I look around at them and like I see what they go for on the site with regularity, I'm like, it's in the Continental GT as well. It's incredible.
It's also like it's still just you look so rich because whoever bought it new was fabulously wealthy.
Was definitely rich. They were a real estate mogul in Florida, and they wanted something to drive their clients around in, and so they got the flying Spur.
The original MSRP was apparently in the high 100s, like 170-ish, plus options. And now it is 10 to 20% that, let's say.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. And this one actually
seems really nice.
It's on aftermarket wheels, but it seems nice. Like
which
actually,
one
the
isn't?
interior condition is like
the interior condition is wonderful.
How many miles are on this?
70,000, and like it looks like a pleasant 70,000 miles.
You know, a lot of there. You know, again, maintenance is something to take into consideration when you're purchasing a car like this. But again, this is at 70,000 miles. It's like, you know, it's not like it doesn't have no miles on it. It got driven. So it must have been somewhat
pretty nice. Like apparently there are some cracks in the center console trim and door panel. There's some stains. Like you can't really see it, and that's also expected in that wood.
I also just, again, I know Doug and I beat it to death, but like that engine is one of the great engines. That it's just is a like turbine like.
Boy, did it depreciate.
It did, and again, moves it squarely into the line of someone like Nick, who would buy something outrageous.
Nick would buy this.
It's on, this is Nick level for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he replaces the Arnage.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just bid on this and won it. Who knows?
That is a Nick.
He's like angry at the Arnage for a day. He's currently angry at the Arnage. You guys will all see why. I could see him just buying this.
I can see that.
Anger buy. All right.
I'm going to shift gears into something a little bit more sporty.
Yep.
So, I'm going to stick with the recession-rich theme.
Ooh.
I'm going to talk about this 2008 Lamborghini Gallardo. The Gallardo is one of the great entry points into exotic cars for a couple of reasons. One is that it was that turning point when Audi started to take over and brought a lot of engineering to the car. So they actually became, how do I put this, good.
Yeah.
Like drivable.
That is the way
I
to put
love
it.
the Countach. I love old Lamborghinis, but these cars are incredibly usable, and they bring like a lot of character to them. And a 5-liter V10, even firing order because it's one of the earlier cars. But being an 08, it doesn't have the problems that the 04s did. They did a couple of revisions very early on that make the later cars actually pretty reliable.
Yep.
This is one of those. And it, in my opinion, comes in the correct color combination.
Yep.
Jello Midas Pearl over a black interior.
100%.
On silver wheels.
100%.
This is
it's the right look without a singular doubt.
This is an e-gear car, but of course conversions are possible if you want to do that. And we had an early 04 Gallardo here at the office, and I actually found when the transmission, like when you learn to work with it, was actually pretty good. And I still found this car to be incredibly special. It just sounds crazy.
It still looks exotic. And also it's a car that we all, like everybody that's in their 30s thinks of as a exotic car from their not their childhood maybe, but like exotic car from the mid-2000s.
Definitely. And it's also, these F430s seem to be priced, seem to bring higher money generally. These cars are, let's be honest, probably a little more reliable than the Ferraris are. And I think that I don't know, that to me is a more exotic shape than the F430.
Okay. Let's talk about this. So we're talking about heavily depreciated cars. Now, this is cheaper than when it was new.
Yeah, which was like around $190,000 in 08, which imagine being that
with
rich in 08.
some exceptions, Gallardos are not really back at the original MSRP. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, they aren't. But not by that wide a margin.
It has held some of its value, but it is still half off what it cost new. And the experience it delivers is on par with a lot of the modern exotic.
I'm glad that you're answering a question that is different than the one that we're answering in this video. But it's a great answer to a question.
Filippo, you picked. All right,
let's get to that.
Correct.
What did I pick that you're upset about?
So you picked this Mercedes E63,
which is a wonderful example of this. All right, Mercedes E63 AMG wagon. This is a W212 or an S212 because it's a wagon. Post facelift, so 2014 means that it also has all-wheel drive, 5.5 liter twin turbo V8, 577 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque. I have the regular version of this car, and it's delightful. Yes. And honestly, adding 275 horsepower would make it better. Although it does remove the rear-facing third row, which is tragic.
Makes it worse.
Yes. So, balance. 277 horsepower, 275 more horsepower,
which
no third row.
I would view as a plus, and you would view as a
I would view as a lower fuel economy vehicle. Regardless, these cars, when new, 11 years ago, were 100-ish, 120, something like that. Mm-hmm. We don't have the actual MSRP for this, but it's nicely spec'd. So call it 120.
Okay.
These are now selling in the 30s. thereabouts if I look at recent sales. Right?
30s.
30s to 40.
I'm skeptical of you. I don't believe you.
I mean, the really nice ones. So we've sold lower mile ones in the 50s. This has 97,000 miles. My guess
sold it in the
30 to
50s.
40s.
What was it again? MSRP?
36,000 miles. Yes, that one that has no miles. This though, which has close to 100,000 miles, call it 30 to 40. So it has lost somewhere in the 60 to 70%.
60 to 70%.
Yep, that's more in a shorter amount of time than the Gallardo.
The challenge of this was to find the best depreciated cars, not the most depreciated cars.
Here is a car. This is the best depreciated car.
They are wonderful. It's a wonderful
Have you experienced Distronic, which is the adaptive cruise control system? It is still as good as modern adaptive cruise systems, and you have 577 horsepower. And I think it looks like I like the look of the S212 wagon, especially post facelift. It's an exceptional car for 80 grand less than it was new.
I think I might like the 211 more.
Yeah, no. Everybody likes the 211 more. We will rank them one day on the podcast, although I think we have.
Well, no, you did just the E-classes on the wagons.
Well, the wagons, different ranking. I have a very specific ranking.
Look, I'm sure you do. This is a great choice.
For $80,000 less than it costs new.
Yes, sure. Mine,
that's 67%
but if you're going to use nominal value, mine costs
$100,000. All right, can I get one that will be not controversial? We'll all agree.
I don't think mine are controversial at all.
Wrong. We'll all agree on this. 1997 Toyota Century.
Oh my God.
So we don't know these cars because these were not sold in the U.S. But the Century, especially a V12 Century, like this one is, were the luxury car, the Rolls-Royce of Japan in the late 90s. And the late 90s in Japan was a good time to be rich in Japan. And also there was a lot of wealth.
Isn't that not true?
No, it was a little bit late.
It was a little late. Economic depression in the late 1990s?
I withdraw what I said. I was a little late on that.
Do they still feel today?
Regardless, these were legitimate Rolls-Royce competitors. Incredibly luxurious. A stout, beautiful, quiet, delightful V12. A pass-through passenger seat. If you go to photo 51. I mean, there's rear seat controls and
doilies.
1997 doilies. There's a passenger seat you can put your legs through.
Old, outdated.
This was truly luxury.
Yes.
Now, I don't have specific MSRPs for these. It was Japan at that time. Window stickers were different, et cetera. But the internet, when I Googled it, said somewhere in the 110-ish range, which also means that 110 in 1997 is somewhere around $220,000 today. V12 Centuries at this point, we've sold a bunch of them, truly a bunch, are in the low teens, generally. Call it $10,000 to $15,000.
Yeah. That is a
$220,000 car. That is reliable, by the way. We talked about the Bentley and the Rolls early on as maybe being a little bit more scary to own. Yeah. That is not true at all with this car. There's 17 layers of paint. The V12 is everything is notoriously reliable.
True, I think,
and yet there was 5% or what the original MSRP was.
Finding parts would be very difficult.
There was 5% or what their inflation adjusted MSRP was.
Sure,
we agree.
Finding parts.
This is an incredible depreciation bargain.
You've only chosen luxury cars. Not
I chose a sports car.
No,
the E63 AMG.
No,
sports cars don't depreciate in the same way. With a couple of
that's not true.
Mercedes AMG GTs being one example.
The C8 Corvette would like a word with you.
It hasn't depreciated.
It's dropping. They're dropping pretty fast.
It is now. We can talk about that in a year. You agreed. This is an incredible bargain for the what it brought to the table originally.
Sure, if you like to stink up the cabin with your feet, if you have a driver and you like to make them inhale your feet because your feet go through.
You were wealthy in 1997. Your feet don't stink.
But your feet do now.
Well, yeah, maybe.
You want to drive around.
But I prefer to not make fun of our users and the buyer of this vehicle.
Well,
which by the way is no reserve, so high bid wins it.
Right. Yes. It's an interesting car. I think that it's weird to have chosen. I don't know. I feel like it's a very odd choice for this.
It's a phenomenal. It was $220,000 inflation adjusted, and now it's 10 to 15.
Yeah. So dollars is an irrelevant amount anyway. That was never sold in the market that used dollars. So I don't know. It feels like a weird choice. But on this, I did choose another luxury car, which is of course the poster child of depreciation.
Yeah, I mean,
BMW E38
You want to talk about a less I'm trying to find the answer to that. A less reliable V12.
No, actually, yeah, I mean, maybe slightly, but actually the engines in these cars are actually notoriously reliable. The V8s were not so reliable.
They are
V12s.
notoriously reliable.
Yes, and yes, BMW people know this. They are very well known for actually being pretty stout motors. The thing is, you have to do everything twice. They're basically 2 6-cylinders to put together, so you have to do, there's 2 of basically everything. But nonetheless, it is a very reliable engine, and the E38 is a wonderful car. Now, this is, Throttle House used this car on a road trip series, which
they also used a different German.
I highly encourage you to go and watch, but it is, the E30, I mean, the Toyota Century is very cool and obscure. The E38 still looks like it's someone is driving this car is coming to fire your dad.
You know, in Japan, that's what those people in the Century did.
It's a
That's why there was an economic crisis right when
You know what they also, you know what they wanted to drive? These.
Yeah, probably.
This is seriously one of BMW's high watermarks. I know I can talk about it forever and people don't want to hear me do that, but it is a wonderful, wonderful car. I adore the E38. I think it is the best 7 Series that BMW ever built, and I don't think too many people would argue with that. And that V12 is just a lump. It is just, and having driven these cars, it is just so solid. Everything about the car is just solid, and it's very lovable.
One honorable mention: the Throttle House is also selling the 600 SEL from that same video, which is also a solid vehicle.
Yes, this is another one.
It is a solid vehicle.
Yes, the direct competitor for this car.
Yep.
Again, another car that people who drove Toyota Centuries wish they could probably have. Or if you're in the Yakuza, you did. But it is just, these cars are phenomenal too. I wanted to put this on my list, but I'm a BMW guy at my heart.
I totally get it.
And although it's on Alpino wheels and lowered, which I don't love, the E38 is just spectacular.
All right, let's hit your last one. Maybe I'll agree with it.
Now, my last one is a modern car that's depreciating fast, and that is this McLaren 570S Spider. McLarens are one of the great leases because the lease price is less than the rate of depreciation for these cars. However, that means that 6 years removed moves it directly into the firing line of people who are considering cars that are, of kind of more around the Gallardo's value, to be honest with you. And this car offers modern McLaren styling.
Deal.
It still kind of looks like this. It offers you a twin turbo.
Like this.
It still does. You wouldn't know that.
I wouldn't know the difference. I don't know the difference.
If it ran over you and backed over you again for good measure,
they might still be selling the 570S. Are they not?
I don't think so. I think the Artura replaced it, but I could be wrong about that. Which I've never seen.
The Artura does look different. Credit to McLaren, they designed a second car.
But still, you have a twin turbo, 562 horsepower, V8, modern McLaren's styling, modern McLaren handling.
Wild.
And the original McLaren gets a bad rap for the MP4 or MP4 12C.
Dash,
yes, MP4-12C, the printer. It gets a bad reputation because those cars had reliability problems early on. Not all McLarens are like that as they've aged, and they actually have improved substantially, and there's a lot more support for these cars now as a result of their unreliability. People want to own these things, and there are shops that have gone through and figured out the problems they have and can service them, and actually makes them pretty appealing to own. Admittedly, I'm not a McLaren person necessarily, but I recognize that the value that these bring now is substantial.
For the performance, it is probably the best value out there.
Yeah.
It's honestly an incredible performance value new. And in 6 years, they have depreciated a lot, and therefore it's an incredible, incredible performance value.
So you feel that this is depreciated enough to make your list?
100%.
100%.
You're going to heavily disagree with my next one, by the way.
Well, I think I've made all pretty desirable choices, and you've picked some good luxury cars.
You answered a different question. All right, here's my last one. I agree with you fully. Incredible depreciation, incredible value
for the next person. Yeah,
100%.
Oh my gosh, your last choice.
1989 Mercedes-Benz 560 SL. This one's an incredibly nice one. Smoke silver metallic is a great color in these. 48,300 miles. Has the hardtop. It is unmodified. It is like a truly incredibly nice one of these. And by the way, these are becoming desirable. Like I now think these are desirable, which is new.
Our producer does too. He says, "Oh, I saw an R107 today."
Oh yeah, I know.
They made a gazillion of these cars. They're everywhere, which is a sign is a testament to how well made they are in the class.
No, they're incredibly reliable.
However, well, I don't know. I think Tyler Hoover might have a word with you about incredibly reliable. He's had one for a long time. His grandmother's former car. Reliable is not a word I would use with this car. They require
it is a word that people generally associate with R107.
No, they're robust. They last.
Fine.
Reliable, I don't know.
Robust, and they last. And I'll take that. And this is, we both agree, is a really nice one.
This is, yes. This is, most of these get used heavily and are not taken care of. This one, just based on the condition of the interior, it looks very nice.
Okay, great.
Really good.
The highest priced R107 that we've ever sold was a similar-ish mile, a little bit lower mile car, but similar miles for $47,000. The rest are, if they're like high miles, are like 15. If they're lower miles, are somewhere in the 30s.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
That's what they're worth. There are a lot of them, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
When new, they were $65,000 in 1989. That means that today they'd be $170,000. So here is a classic that makes the point that for 20% of the original inflation-adjusted MSRP, 25%, you can have like a true classic, a great shape classic vehicle.
Right. 36 years later.
Yep.
Isn't the current price of the SL, like the SL60, isn't it like kind of right around?
Yeah, it's
so it actually hasn't changed that much.
The AMG GT / the SL has really stayed flat.
Very interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Here's why I chose this. I don't think of this as depreciated. It's too old to like. It's like into like the classic sphere rather than the depreciation sphere for me.
It's a curve, and on the curve, it's toward the bottom. I would say it's at the bottom, and it's maybe.
I do legitimately think the 560 SLs are starting to go up. There have been sales publicly that are a little astounding for like incredibly low single-digit mile ones. And they made a lot of them, so I don't think they'll ever blow up. But I don't think they're going down from this price either.
Well, this, I think, because it had such a long production run. I think 89 is the last year for this, and then the R129 came out, I believe. The R107 was produced from like the late 70s.
Oh, yeah, it's an incredibly long production run. Yeah, to be fair, so was the R129.
Yeah, the R129 was as well. From
90s to 2002.
The facelift made a big difference in the R129. I think, it's the SLs like kind of go through that period of. I mean, every classic car that is going to become desirable goes through this when it reaches a certain age where the people who remember the car when they were young but couldn't afford one then have the disposable income to buy one. The demand goes up, the values then thus increase.
And these are
this is kind of where that is.
But it seems like it's not so old that I can't call it depreciated. But it's like on the cusp of being just like truly a classic.
I think it is. I don't know. Yeah, it is. I don't think of it as a used car anymore, and I start to think of it more as a classic. But it is without question fully depreciated.
It is a fully depreciated. On its appreciation 20%, 25% of its original MSRP, and worth every penny.
Interesting.
So, in other words, we have just given conflicting information after conflicting information, and you chose a Gallardo as a heavily depreciated.
I didn't say heavily. I said it is depreciated and has.
Congratulations, you beat the depreciation of literally every other car sold in 2008.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
Name something else that was under $200,000 that depreciated less.
Under $200,000. I don't know. I'd need time to think about it. And this is a long episode.
This is a long episode.
I like my garage a lot. 78 Rolls, 750 Gallardo.
Yes,
it covers every need.
If we were making a garage, I would agree. Okay, we've gone way off the rails. I'm late for a meeting. Yes. That's how long we've gone.
Yes. I like my garage. You chose a Century, an E63 wagon.
Oh, I'm thrilled with this.
Bentley, you just chose a bunch of gray luxury cars.
And I love it. Okay, I think that the Century is legitimately such a depreciated bargain. The Bentley Continental Flying Spur, we all agree, is the poster child for luxury depreciation. We all agree. Yes? You agree.
Everything depreciates.
You agree.
My garage is more tasteful than yours.
That's not what we asked. You agree that the 2006 Bentley Continental Flying Spur specifically is the poster child for depreciation. There are other poster children. It's a large poster, but it's on there.
Well, at that time, the Arnage is more so because those were more expensive and depreciated and are worth less.
Right,
so that actually takes...
And a Mercedes wagon, which famously depreciates way less than the sedans. The sedan would be worth $3 and some loose gum that's rolling around your car. That's obviously not true.
You need to spend
wagon.
less time with Nick.
We've gone off the rails.
You're crazy. I still think my choices were great, but you can let us know who chose better. There will be a post in the community section, and there will be a link to it in the description below. Let us know who chose the better depreciated garage.
And I will be there and ready to fight in the comments. If you too, just like Kennan, answer a different question. If you too, just like Kennan, misunderstand depreciation and what normal depreciation looks like, I will be there to fight you.
I'm hitting the cars and bids button. I'm powering him down. That's how that goes, and I'm picking up a Bronco. All right, thank you all so much for watching. We'll talk to you.
God, what have we done?